सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। वासुदेवेन्द्रयोगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधोऽभिधीयते। So in the beginning of the text, Bhagavan Sri Shankaracharya Ji explains the qualifications needed for a student to inquire into the nature of absolute truth. So what are the qualifications? It is called as sadhana chatushtaya sampattihi. What are the qualifications? Vivekah, vairagyah, samadhi shatka sampattihi and mumukshutvam. What is viveka? Viveka is to discriminate and to come to the conclusion that except Brahman, except God, everything is impermanent, anityam. Nitya vastu ekam brahma tad vyatiriktam sarvam anityam. God alone is permanent, rest everything is impermanent. This is viveka. What is vairagya? Lack of interest, ichha rahityam, lack of interest in everything that is impermanent. Why is this qualification necessary? This qualification is necessary because when you hold on to the impermanent, when you get attached to the impermanent, it will ultimately lead to sorrow alone. The impermanent thing cannot give permanent happiness. So the ability to detach oneself from the impermanent is called viragaha or vairagya, dispassion. Then the third one is samadhi shatka sampattihi, the sixfold virtues or disciplines of the mind. What are they? Number one, shama. Shama is ability to quieten the mind, control the mind. Next one, dama, ability to restrain the sense organs. Third one, shama, dama, uparama or uparati, the ability to withdraw the mind from unnecessary pursuits and the ability to focus the mind upon one's own duties, responsibilities. Swadharmanushtanameva. Shama, dama, uparama. Next one, titiksha, the ability to endure. Ability to endure heat and cold, joys and sorrows, honor and dishonor without complaining, without grumbling. Ability to endure the little pinpricks of life without complaining. So this is essential, because otherwise, when you complain, when you grumble, you are wasting your mental energy. Energy is necessary in order to fix the mind onto the real. A lot of energy is necessary, so you have to conserve your energy. Complaining, grumbling, etc. will leak out your energy. Right, that is titiksha. Shama, dama, uparama, titiksha. Next one, shraddha, faith. Faith in what? Faith in the teacher, faith in the scriptures, faith in God, and faith in oneself that I will reach the Supreme. Shraddha, and after that, samadhanam, the ability to concentrate the mind. Chitta ekagrata is called samadhana. Sixfold virtues. And next comes mumukshutvam. What is mumukshutvam? The intense desire to gain liberation. The intense desire to know the truth, to know God. So, viveka is the ability to discriminate between permanent and the impermanent. Vairagya is the ability to detach from the impermanent. Mumukshutvam is the intense desire to attach to the permanent. And what are the samadhi shatka sampatti? That is the qualification of the mind which can do this detaching and attaching. Once a person develops this qualification, such a person is called a sadhana chatushtaya sampanna adhikari. For him, what is prescribed? Tattva viveka is prescribed. For him, the enquiry into the truth is prescribed, because he alone can take up this enquiry. Lot of control over the mind is necessary. Discipline over the mind is necessary. Such a person alone will be able to take up this enquiry. Now, when we say this, it doesn't mean that we should not study further. These sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, it is there in every one of us. We have to cultivate it. The more and more we have, the easier this enquiry becomes. Right. Now what is Tattva Viveka? What is the enquiry? Now here, before starting the enquiry, we must know where we are going to reach. Destination has to be clear before we set upon the path of enquiry. So what is the destination? What is it that we are going to prove? What is that we are going to prove? Atma Satyam Tadanyat Sarvam Mithya. Atma alone is Satyam, truth. The rest, everything is Mithya. Mithya, unreal, illusion. Now see a change. I don't know whether you have observed. Earlier, what was the definition of Viveka? Brahma Satyam. What is that? Nitya Vastu Ekam Brahma Tad Vyatiriktam Sarvam Anityam. Earlier, it was told Brahman alone is permanent, rest everything is impermanent. Now, a little more clarification is given. Atma alone is truth, rest everything is false. Now, what is the difference you see? When you say something is permanent and impermanent, a thing may be impermanent, but it is enjoying the same degree of reality as that of permanent. With respect to the degree of reality, the permanent and the impermanent both are at the same level. This is one difference. Whereas when we talk of Satyam and Mithya, Satyam is something which is real, Mithya is something which is illusion. They don't enjoy the same degree of reality. Mithya derives its existence from Satyam. Whereas an impermanent thing doesn't derive the existence from the permanent thing. Impermanent only is in terms of time. The duration of existence is limited. That is what it means by impermanent. It doesn't have the connotation of illusory nature. Now see that definition has become more specific. Definition has become more specific because now this student is capable of understanding the subtle concepts of truth. Because he is a sadhana chatushtaya sampanna adhikari. Earlier what was the definition? Permanent, impermanent. Now what is the definition? Truth and illusion. And another point to be noted is, earlier it was said Brahman, but it was not defined. The only meaning you can take is God, a supreme power, a high power, an omniscient, omnipotent God. There is lack of clarity. Because this person is not able to understand even if Brahman is explained. Now the very same Brahman is described as Atma. What does it mean? That supreme truth is not somewhere else, but it is the very self in you. Self means the very I. That God which you are saying, that God is not somewhere outside, it is the very self, it is the very I in you. Now see that, what you call? More and more, as you become eligible to understand the truth, more and more clarification is given. Atma Satyam Tadanyat Sarvam Mithya. So yesterday we had seen what is Satyam, what is Mithya. Non-substantial reality which has only a name and form, which does not have an independent existence, is called as Mithya. Like the ornaments. What is the Satyam there? Gold. What is Mithya there? Ornament. Pot. What is the Satyam? Mud. What is the Mithya? That pot is Mithya. Any name and form has got no real existence. What exists is the mud or the gold. In the same way, whatever you see in the world. Now what is this statement? What does it mean? It means that this I in you, the self in you alone is real. The rest, everything you see, they enjoy only a borrowed existence. They don't have their independent existence at all. Like for example, whatever you see in the dream, do they have an independent existence? Dream things, dream beings, dream experiences, dream situation, dream world, whatever you may see, how much ever important it may be while you are dreaming, but actually they don't enjoy an independent existence. What is it that they are dependent upon? They are dependent upon the waker's existence. Yes or no? Without the waker, dream cannot be. Now it's a stunning statement. Atma Satyam Tadanyat Sarvam Mithya. This is where we have to reach. Now this is the statement of declaration. It has been declared. Enquiry has not started. Now the enquiry will begin. This is where we have to reach. Now we will start the enquiry. Atma alone is Satyam, truth. So naturally the question will come, what is this Atma? So now how Bhagwan Shankaracharya is going to define it? First of all, he will define what Atma is not. Why this definition is necessary? This definition is necessary because now we have understood this Atma in a totally wrong way. We have lot of wrong notions about this Atma. Atma means self. Atma means I in each and every one of us. We have totally wrong notion. Generally, 99.9999% of the people consider Atma as what? This physical body. So the first thing Bhagavan takes is Sthula Sharirat Vyatiriktam. Please understand, this is not Atma. This is not the self. This is not you. You have not understood yourself properly. You have misunderstood you. That is why you are suffering in this world. The cause of suffering is lack of proper understanding about yourself. So much of suffering is there. It is only because you don't know the truth about yourself. So, if you want to alleviate suffering, remove suffering, there is only one way: know the truth about yourself. So now the enquiry has started. So what is the first thing? Now Bhagwan in the definition says what Atma is not. What are the things which Atma is not? Sthula, Sukshma, Karana, Sharirat, Vyatiriktam. Atma is not Sthula Sharira, not Sukshma Sharira, not Karana Sharira. Each one will be explained what these bodies are. Then what is Atma? Again remember, Panchakosha Atitaha. Atma is not the Panchakoshas also. What Panchakoshas are will come later. Then Avasthatraya Sakshi. Atma is not Avasthatrayam also, but it is a Sakshi, a witness. The one which is continuously watching the three states. Then what is Atma? Sat, Chit, Ananda, Swarupa. So yesterday we had seen three types, three ways in which something can be defined. What are they? Swarupa Lakshanam. Swarupa Lakshanam means defining a thing as it is. So what is Swarupa Lakshanam in this? Satchidananda Swarupa. Then Tatastha Lakshanam, defining a thing by defining something which is associated with it. So which is that Tatastha Lakshanam here? Avasthatraya Sakshi. Atma is associated with the three avasthas. It is associated, it is very close. So there Atma's definition is not there, but the description is about something which is associated to Atma. And the third one is Atat Vyavritti Lakshanam, defining a thing by defining those things which it is not. So what are they? Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharirat Vyatiriktaha. That one. And Panchakoshatitaha. This is not this. This way of defining is called Atat Vyavritti Lakshanam. Now, step by step. So now earlier Bhagavan has said it is different from Sthula Shariram. So what is this Sthula Shariram? So the definition. What is the definition? So yesterday we had seen Sthula Shariram. What is Sthula Shariram? This physical body is called Sthula Shariram. Now how this physical body is defined, you see. Remember, the purpose of definition is to say that I am not this. Elaborate definition of this body is, what is the purpose? The purpose is to say that this is not you. So what is this Sthula Shariram? What is this physical body? Panchikrita Panchamahabhutehi Kritam. Kritam, it has been formed. It is made of. Made of what? Panchamahabhuta, 5 elements. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala, Prithvi, 5 elements. What kind of 5 elements? Grossified 5 elements. Gross 5 elements. That is why it is called Sthula, gross. So therefore, what is the condition of this body? It is Indriya Gocharam. Indriya Gocharam means that which can be perceived through your senses. That is the condition. It is Thula, gross, which has got Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, which can be seen by the eyes, ears, nose, skin, tongue, everything can perceive it. Therefore it is called Sthula Sharira. That is the condition. Then second one is cause. What is the cause of this body? What is it made up of? It is made up of Panchamahabhuta. Who has created it? So therefore the next term, Satkarmajanyam. Satkarmajanyam means it has been formed by our own past actions. Actions of not of this birth, but past actions. It is called as Prarabdha Karma. This term again will come later. Actions done in the past which has started giving results in the present. Such actions. Sat Karma. So who has made this body? I myself through my past actions. If it is good action, the body is wonderful. If it is bad action, Papa Karma, then the body will have defects. Satkarmajanyam. Satkarma also means good karma. The very fact that we are studying this text, it shows that we have done certain good karmas in the past because of which we are showing interest in spirituality. Satkarma janyam. So it is called as the nimitta karanam. Material cause and the efficient cause. Material cause is the 5 elements. Efficient cause is the individual actions performed in the past. Now remember, material cause is the same with respect to every body. All the bodies are made up of 5 elements, but the efficient cause, nimitta karanam, is different. Therefore, each one of us, we have different bodies with different abilities. It is something like the house. We have different houses in the city. Every house is made of same brick, same cement, plastic, aluminium, iron, etc. But the plans are different, isn't it? Therefore, the houses are also different. Material is the same, but the plan is different. Therefore, the houses appear to be different. Satkarma janyam. Right. Then what? Function. What is the function of this body? Sukha, dukkhadi, bhoga, ayatanam. This body is a residing place. It's an abode. Abode for whom? For the individual jiva. This jiva resides in this body. For what? In order to go through experiences. Here bhoga doesn't mean pleasure. Here bhoga means experience. Sukha, dukkhadi, bhoga. Bhoga means anubhava. In order to go through various experiences. What kinds of experiences? Sukha and dukkha, joy, sorrow, mixed, etc. In order to go through these experiences, this jiva is residing in this body. It's an abode. It's a house of residence. Ayatanam means abode. Now, since this body is kritam, panchi kritam, panchamahabhutehi kritam, it has come into existence because of our past actions, and those past actions are limited. Therefore, the existence of the body also will be limited. Meaning what? It is an impermanent residence for the jiva. Impermanent residence. For some time he is residing. Now what is the nature of this body? What is the property of this body? Asti, jayate, vardhate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, vinashyati. Asti, it exists in the womb of the mother. Jayate, it is born from the womb. Vardhate, it grows. Then viparinamate, it matures. Apakshiyate, it starts decaying. Then vinashyati, dies. From asti to vinashyati. From asti to nasti. From existence to non-existence is the movement of this body. So this is the nature. Medical science only deals with maybe one factor. What are the different constituents, different parts? They don't know anything about how this body has come into existence, etc. Now here is a perfect definition of a human body, which answers all the questions which generally we may have. Why a person is born like this? Why a person is born like that? When these questions come, you will never have any answer. Medical science cannot give the answer, but spirituality can give the answer. And remember, whatever is presented here, Shankaracharya is not giving out of his own imagination. It has Veda Pramana. Veda Pramana means the authority is Vedas. Shruti, we had seen in the first day. The original source of knowledge is Shruti, Vedas. So whatever has been said, it is just an information gathered from the Vedas and presented to us. This we must understand. No Mahatma will give his own, definitions or his own ideas or theories. No. We have no independent theories. Nothing is kapola kalpita, as they say. Some idea came into my mind and I wrote it. No. It has Veda Praman. That is why now and then whenever Bhagavan Shankaracharya writes commentary, he quotes Vedas. Iti Shrutehe. Like this, Vedas have said. It is not my own opinion, etc. So whatever is being discussed here, this is the knowledge from the Vedas, right? So now Sthula Shariram is over. Remember, I am not Atma is Sthula Sharirat Vyatiriktam. It is different. Now we will come to Sukshma Sharira. Let us chant. Sukshma Shariram Kim Apanchíkrita Panchamahābhūtaihi Kritam Satkarma Janyam Sukha Dukkhādi Bhoga Sadhanam Panchajñānendriyāni Panchakarmendriyāni Panchapranādayah Manaschaikam Buddhischaika Evam Saptadashakalaabhihi Saha Yattisthati Tat Sukshma Shariram. So, earlier Bhagavan Shankaracharya had mentioned this term, Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharirat Vyatiriktam. So, therefore, next term taken up is Sukshma Shariram. What is this Sukshma Shariram? Now, the name itself says Sukshma. Sukshma means Indriya Agocharam. That which cannot be known through our senses is called Sukshma. It is a technical term. What is Sthula? That which can be known through our senses. Sukshma means that which cannot be known through our senses. Therefore, Sukshma Sharira cannot be seen. For example, mind. Mind falls under Sukshma Sharira. Manaschaikam, it has come. So therefore, I will never know. You are all seated here. Your Sthula Shariram is here. But whether your Sukshma Shariram is here, I can never know. You can sit and daydream. It is possible. Isn't it? I can know my mind. But I can never know your mind. Remember, I am knowing my mind not with the senses. With the senses, I am not knowing the mind. I am knowing it through consciousness. So, Sukshma means that which cannot be known through the senses. Sukshma Shariram. Now, what is it made of? So, condition is, it is Indriya Agocharam. What is Upadana Karanam or the material cause? Apanchíkrita Panchamahābhūtaihi Kritam. Kritam, again it is made of. It is made. It has been created. So, there was a time when it was not there. There will be a time when it will not be there. Kritam. Kritam from what? Panchamahābhūtaihi. It is also made up of 5 elements, but it is made up of Apanchíkrita Panchamahābhūta, meaning that 5 elements which have not become grossified, meaning which is subtle. Subtle 5 elements. This Panchikaranam will be discussed later. Now just understand this much. This Sukshma Shariram is made up of subtle 5 elements. Subtle 5 elements means the elements which cannot be seen. Elements are the same. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala, Prithvi. But which are subtle, which are Sukshma, which cannot be seen. Sukshma Sharira has to be made by Sukshma Pancha Mahabhutas. Sthula Sharira has to be made by Sthula Pancha Mahabhutas. Right. Then what? So we have got the material cause. Material cause is subtle 5 elements. Now what about the efficient cause? Or the what karanam? Upadana karanam, nimitta karanam. What is the nimitta karanam? Same thing. Sat karma janyam. The Sukshma Sharira is also made up of your own actions of the past. Sat karma janyam. What is its function? Sukha dukkhādi bhoga sadhanam. Sadhanam means instrument. So what is the function of this Sukshma Sharira? It is this instrument using which you go through or you experience joys, sorrows, etc. It is bhoga sadhanam. What was Sthula Shariram? Bhoga ayatanam. Sthula Shariram is the abode, staying where the Jiva experiences joys and sorrows. Sukshma Sharira is the instrument with which he experiences joys and sorrows. So for example, if someone beats you, beating is happening where? on the body, on the ayatanam. But the experience of pain, through what instrument you are experiencing it, it is through Sukshma Shariram. Got it? There is an instrument of experiencing, and there is an abode where, sitting where you experience things. To give an example, there is an office. That office is the Sthula Shariram. The instrument through which that office contacts the outer world is called the Sukshma Shariram. What are the instruments through which any office contacts the outer world? Email, telephone, mobile, etc. Right? So the instrument of experiencing is the Sukshma Shariram. The abode or residence of experience is called the Sthula Shariram. So this is Sukha Dukkhadi Bhoga Sadhanam. Without Sukshma Sharira, can one experience joy and sorrow? To give an example, when you are in deep sleep. When you are in deep sleep, what is not there? Sukshma Sharira is not there, mind is not there, but the body is there. So somebody touches you, you are not aware. Why you are not aware? The body is there, the counter is there, the residence is there, but the instrument through which you have to gain the experience, that instrument is unavailable. So therefore this is Sukha Dukkhadi Bhoga Sadhanam. This is the function. What about its nature or property? That is not mentioned here. We have to understand it is Savikaram. Savikaram means full of modifications. Every moment our moods change, isn't it? Mental moods change. So this has to be understood. So that is not listed here. But there is something else which is listed. What are they? Constituents of the Sukshma Shariram. What are they? Parts. What are the parts of the Sukshma Shariram? Constituents. So here are they. Panchajnanendriyani. 5 organs of knowledge. Panchakarmendriyani. 5 organs of action. Panchapranadayaha. 5 pranas. Physiological system, which is nothing but pancha pranas. Manaha cha ekam, 1 mind. Buddhi cha eka, 1 intellect. So how much total? Pancha jnanendriya, pancha karmendriya, pancha prana, total 15. 1 mind, 16. 1 intellect, 17. Evam, this way, sapta dasha kalabhihi. In the Sapta Dasha, Sapta means 7, Dasha means 10, 10 plus 7, 17. In this way, Sapta Dasha Kalabhihi Saha Yattishtati. That which is staying along with these 17 constituents, Tat Sukshma Shariram. So what is Sukshma Shariram? Panchajnanendriyas, Panchakarmendriyas, Panchaprana, the mind and the intellect. Now what are these Panchajnanendriyas? Later it will come. So total how much? 17. These are the constituents. Right? Condition, it is Indriya Agocharam. Material cause, subtle 5 elements. Then efficient cause, our own past actions. Function, it is the instrument of experiencing. Constituents, 17 constituents. This is Sukshma Shariram. Now naturally the question will come. What is the question? What are the Pancha Jnanendriyas? So that is given. Let us chant. Shrotram Tvak Chakshu Rasana Ghranam iti Panchajnanendriyani. Panchajnanendriyani. These are the 5 organs of knowledge. What are the 5 organs of knowledge? Shrotram. Shrotra means the organ of hearing, ears. Tvak. Tvak means organ of touch. Chakshuhu. Organ of seeing, eyes. Rasana, organ of taste, that is tongue. Ghranam, organ of smell, nose. Iti Pancha Jnanendriyani. Now please keep this in mind. We are not talking of the physical thing, eyes, ears, etc. Because remember, it is Sukshma Sharira. Sukshma Sharira means what? Which cannot be known through our senses. What you see here is Golaka. The physical ear, physical eye, that they are not called Indriyas, they are called as Golakas. When we are talking of Indriya, Indriya means the subtle power behind each organ because of which that organ is capable of functioning. For example, eyes are able to see. That subtle power in the eyes because of which the eye is able to see is called as Indriyas. That is why it is Sukshma. Getting it? The physical eye is called Golaka. The power in the eyes to see is called Indriyas. So in the same way, the power to see, the power to hear, the power to taste, the power to smell, all these powers are called, these subtle, invisible powers are called as Indriyas. Keep this in mind. Because earlier it is said they belong to Sukshma Sharira, and suddenly you are talking of eyes, ears, which are very clearly visible. These things belong to Sthula Sharira, we are talking of Sukshma Sharira. Right. So these are the 5 Indriyas. Now some extra information is given. Let us chant. Shrotrasya digdevata tvacho vayuh chakshusha suryah rasanaya varunah ghranasya ashvinau iti jnanendriya devatah shrotrasya vishayah shabdagrahanam tvacho vishayah sparshagrahanam chakshusho vishayah rupagrahanam rasanaya vishayah rasagrahanam ghranasya vishayah gandhagrahanam iti. So, little more information is given. Shrotram, Tvak, Chakshu, Rasana, Granam. In a dead body, what is present? Indriya is present or Golaka is present? Or both are present? Only Golaka is present, Indriya is not present. That's why a dead body cannot see. You see the eyes, etc. That eyes are there, physical eye is there, but it cannot see. Why it cannot see? Indriya is not there. Golaka is there. In a blind man, what is present? What is not present? In a blind man, what is present? What is not present? Golaka is defective, Indriya is there. That is why you are able to replace the eye, transplantation, etc. is possible. Why? The defect is in the Golaka, physical aperture. The physical eye is defective, so you can replace the eye. Indriya is there. Indriya is there. So this has to be understood. Right. Now comes another topic. What is the topic? Each and every power that we have, the power of hearing, power of smelling, power of seeing, etc., there is a presiding deity from whom we gain this power. This presiding deity is called as Adhishthana Devataha. Just like we have Prime Minister and then he has his cabinet, he has got cabinet ministers. So all the powers come from Prime Minister. Prime Minister delegates certain responsibility to each minister. For example, Defense Minister, Education Minister, right? So many ministers are there. They get their power from the Prime Minister, and that particular minister has got total authority on that department. So these devatas are called as departmental heads. We may call them. Departmental heads are called as Adhishthana Devataha. So these devatas have got a particular power in a particular department. They have got a jurisdiction. So now these devatas are going to be mentioned. So these devatas, what are their function? Their function is, in their own department, they have full authority. First, let us see what all these devatas are. Then we will discuss upon it further. Shrotrasya Digdevata. As far as Shrotra is concerned, who is the devata? Dik Devata. Dik means direction. Tvacho Vayuhu. As far as the organ of touch is concerned, who is the devata? Vayu Devata. Chakshushaha Suryaha. As far as the organ of seeing eyes are concerned, who is the Devata? Surya Devata. Rasanaya Varunaha. For the organ of taste, Varuna Devata is there. Ghranasya Ashvinau. For the organ of smell, which is the Devata? Ashwini Kumaras. That is why Ashvinau. Two are there. Ashwini Kumaras. Now let us take one example. Chakshushaha Suryaha. So what does it mean? We all have this power of seeing. We have gained this power from which Devata? Surya Devata. Remember, each and every being which can see, they have got this power. This power has come from Surya Devata. Surya Devata is not just the physical sun. There is a presiding deity. He is a sentient being. Only the physical aspect is the physical sun which we see. But it is a jiva. Just like we are all individuals, that is also an individual with greater powers. That's why he is called as Devatas. Now what is the function of that Devata? What kind of prarabdha karma a jiva is born with? Accordingly, he gives the power. Now each and every one of us, some of us have got greater power to see, some have lesser powers, isn't it? These powers are all determined by whom? It is determined by this Adhisthana Devata. So he knows which jiva has done what karmas in the past, because of which how much sharp that particular indriya should be. All this information this Devata is having. Right? Because that is his department. So if you want a better eyesight, which Devata you must propitiate? Surya Devata, because that is his department. Right? Now remember, Surya Devata has got powers from whom? From one Supreme Lord, which we call as Ishvara, the Supreme Lord. All the power come from one Supreme Lord. He is omniscient, omnipotent, etc. These are all various departments. Department of seeing, department of smelling, etc. They are all different departments. That is why in Hinduism we have 33 crore Devatas. So each Devata has got one particular department. He is the departmental head. Right? But from where does he get the power from? From one God, one Supreme God. There is only one God. He has divided that power, just like Prime Minister. All the power belongs to Prime Minister. He has given that power to different cabinet ministers. Exactly the same way. Right? So these Devatas, they witness what the jiva is doing with that particular organ. This particular Devata knows the background of this jiva, and thus according to prarabdha karma, the power is assigned. This has to be understood this way. Now we have discussed pancha Jnanendriyas. Remember, all the beings may not be having these pancha Jnanendriyas. So according to how much each being is blessed with this kind of power, beings can be divided into 6, they say. So the first one is called plants, first category. They have only sparsha, the organ of touch. Only skin is available for plants. Then second comes snails and slugs, snails, etc. They say they have only skin and tongue. Other organs are not there. The third category is like ants. They have skin, tongue and nose. The fourth category is bees and dragonflies, etc. They have skin, tongue, nose, eye. The fifth one is animals and birds. They have all the 5. And the sixth one is called human beings. They have all the 5 plus antakarana, mind and intellect. So this way, all living beings can be categorized into 6 depending upon the availability of the fullness of the Sukshma Sharira. Right. Now here, the names are very interesting. So who is the Devata? Now see, one more point. There is a particular organ in this body For that particular organ, there is a field of experience in the world. And there is a particular devata which gives power to that particular organ. That particular organ in the body is called Adhi-atma or Adhyatma. The particular field of experience is called Adhi-bhuta. And particular deity is called Adhi-daiva. Got it? Every organ in the body, Adhi means pertaining to. Pertaining to is called Adhi. Adhi-atma, pertaining to this body, there is an organ. That organ will have a particular field of experience. Like for example, eyes. What is the field of experience? Rupa and color. Rupa means form. Color means color. Form and color. That is the field of experience for the eyes. Correct? That is Adhibhuta. Adhi-atma means the eyes, Indriyas. The power gained by the eyes, from where does it gain power from? Adhi-daiva, the deity pertaining to that particular organ. So Adhi-daiva, Adhyatma, Adhibhuta. These three will go together. Right? Yes. Now let us come to this. Shrotrasya Digdevata. Now you will find that there is some kind of relationship. For the Shrotra, for the organ of hearing, who is the Devata? Dik. Dik means direction. Now, without the sound having direction, you cannot hear. Any sound which has no direction cannot be heard. Now all these things you have to think. Okay? We'll go a little faster. Second one. Tvacho Vayu. Vayu is something which you cannot see, but you can feel it. So who should be the Dig Devata of Tvacha? Tvacha means skin. Vayu. Your Vayu can feel. Vayu Devata. Next one. Chakshushaha Suryaha. Without sunlight can you see? No. Now don't say tube light, this light, etc. All the light, directly or indirectly, they come from the sunlight only. Because sun is the energizing, is the source of all energies. Without sun, can the eyes see? So who should be the Devata of the eyes? Should be Surya Devata. See, there is a relationship. Then, Rasanaya Varunaha. Rasana means tongue. Varuna means, Varuna is water, god of water. Without saliva on your tongue, you cannot taste anything. Tongue may be there, but it cannot taste if there is no saliva. So Varuna Devata is in charge of that department. Granasya Ashvinau. Now how can you relate this? Granasya Ashvinau. Grana means nose. See, Ashwini Kumaras, in the Puranas, they are considered to be the physicians of heaven, doctors, other than Dhanvantari. Other than Dhanvantari, Ashwini Kumaras are considered to be the physicians. Now what has that to do with nose? In Patanjali Yoga Sutra, it is said, whatever doshas you have in the body can be eliminated by pranayama. So if you want to make the body healthy, what is the method? Pranayama. It is nose. So therefore, who has to be the Adhishtana Devata of nose? Granasya Ashvinau. Some physician should be there, some doctor, isn't it? Granasya Ashvinau. Iti Jnanendriya Devataha. This way, they are the Devatas. Now again, remember, Shankaracharya is not writing out of his own imagination. It is there in the Vedas, as it is, he has put it. These Devatas are present. Why is it we cannot see? We cannot see because they are Sukshma. Sukshma, what you call, Sukshma Sharira itself we cannot see. How can we see the Devatas of the Sukshma Sharira? Not possible. So we have to just have faith. Yes, if the Vedas have said it, then it must be right. There must be someone in charge of all this. Right. Next word. Shrotrasya Vishayaha Shabda Grahanam. What is the function of Shrotra, organ of hearing? Shabda Grahanam. Shabda Grahanam means cognition of Shabda, sound. Gaining the knowledge of sound is the function of ears. Tvacho Vishaya Sparsha Grahanam. What is the function of the organ of touch? Gaining the knowledge regarding touch. Cognition of touch. Chakshusha Vishaya Rupa Grahanam. What is the function of eyes? Gaining the knowledge of Rupa means form, including color also. Rasanaya Vishaya Rasagrahanam. What is the function of tongue? Get the knowledge of taste. Granasya Vishaya Gandha Grahanam. The function of nose is to get the knowledge of smell. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. This is how you are gaining knowledge from the outer world. So, these Pancha Jnanendriyas are the input device. In computer we have input device and output device, isn't it? How do you gain information from the world? These Pancha Jnanendriyas are the input device. Meaning, you gain knowledge from the world through these 5 organs of knowledge. That is why it is called Jnana Indriyas. You gain knowledge. Jnana Indriyas. Right? Now we will go to Karmendriyas. So earlier the term has been made. Pancha Jnanendriyani, Pancha Karmendriyani. It is a part of which Shariram? Sukshma Shariram. So they are all belonging to Sukshma Shariram. Keep this in mind. Yes. Vak, Pani, Pada, Payu, Upasthani iti panchakarmendriyani. Vacho devata vannihi. Hastayor indraha. Padayor vishnuhu. Payor mrityuhu. Upasthasya prajapatihi. Iti karmendriya devataha. Vacho vishayah bhashanam. Panyor vishayah vastu grahanam. Padayor vishayah gamanam. Payor vishayah malatyagah. Upasthasya vishayah ananda iti. Now, Pancha Karmendriyas, organs of action, are called as output device. Input device means gaining knowledge from the world. Pancha Jnanendriyani. What are the output device? Output device means with this knowledge you function in the world out, perform some activity in the world out. That is called as Pancha Karmendriyas. What are the Pancha Karmendriyas? Vak, organ of speech. Pani, hands. Pada, legs. Payu, anus. Upasthani, genital organ. These are the 5 Karmendriyas. Again, the list is given. Devatas. Vacho Devata Vannihi. Who is the presiding deity for the organ of speech? Vanni. Vanni means Agni Devata, fire god. Hastayor Indraha. As far as hands are concerned, who is the god? Indra. Padayor Vishnuhu. For the feet, it is Vishnu. Payor Mrityuhu. For the anus, it is Yamraj, Lord Death. Upasthasya Prajapatihi. For the genital organ, it is Prajapati or Brahmaji. So, how can you relate it to it? First one, Vacho Devata Vannihi. For the speech, Agni Devata. Many times we hear this term. It was a fiery speech, isn't it? Or heated argument. You see? So wherever there is speech involved, you use such kind of terms, isn't it? So somewhere it is related. The fire god is related to your speech. Also, fire is very dangerous. It is a double-edged weapon. It is the same fire which cooks food for you, does lot of good things, but if you are careless, the very fire can destroy you, isn't it? In the same way, beware of your speech. with the very ability of speech, the one who has a mastery over speech, he can gain lot of honors, etc., etc. But if you misuse this power of speech, that very same 2.5-inch piece of flesh can destroy you, kill you. It is more dangerous than a sword, they say. So this way you can relate. Okay? Right. Next one. Hastayor Indraha. Now how can you relate hands with Indra? Who is Indra? Indra is the Lord of heavens. Now what is heaven? Heaven is a place where all kinds of pleasures are available, comforts are available, prosperity is available, right? In the same way, a place where people work hard. Hands means what? Hard work. Wherever people work hard, they can create heaven upon earth. It's a fact. So therefore, who should be the presiding deity of hands? It should be the Lord of heavens, Indra, right? You can think. You can also think and new ideas may come, right? These are all the ideas given by great Mahatmas, which I am sharing with you. Right. And then, Padayor Vishnuhu. Who is Vishnu? Vyapakatvat Vishnuhu. That who is all pervading is Vishnu. So in the same way, what is it that which takes you everywhere? Isn't it your legs? And moreover, Vishnu is the Supreme Lord. But where is the place? Pada. That is why we prostrate unto the feet of a Mahatma. We don't prostrate unto the hands. Have you ever heard of Hasta Puja? It is only Pada Puja, isn't it? Puja is done to the feet because Sakshat Vishnu Bhagavan is residing there. Okay. Then Payor Mrityuhu. Anus. For the anus, it is connected to which Devata? Lord of death. What is the function of anus? It removes all the waste material from the body. Correct? In the same way, what is the function of Lord Death? All the waste material is removed. Once a person grows up, once he has contributed fully to the society, once his body is no more of any use for the cosmos, Lord Death removes it. It is a removal of the waste. Isn't it? So that other creative people can occupy the place. That's the whole point. Suppose there is no death. Death is a blessing. If there is no death, your great grandfather will be staying in your that 1 BHK apartment, you know. Just imagine how miserable it will be. So this death is a blessing in disguise. So just like that anus remove all the waste material, if that waste material is stored in the body, it will create toxin and it is very dangerous for the body. In the same way, Lord Death removes unwanted elements from the cosmos. Okay, that is Payor Mrityuhu. Upasthasya Prajapatihi. For the genital organ, who is the presiding deity? Prajapati, Brahmaji. Brahmaji is also called as Prajapati. He is the creator. So genital organs are used for procreation, for creation. So why is Brahmaji the Devata? Brahmaji is called as Chaturmukha Brahma. 4 heads he has. What are these 4 heads? They are nothing but 4 Vedas. 4 Vedas represents knowledge. If you want to create something, you must have knowledge. Only such a Devata can be the presiding deity. In order to create something, you must have knowledge. That is why Brahmaji is married to Saraswati. Saraswati is the god of learning, goddess of learning. Knowledge is necessary for creation. So therefore, for procreation, for creation, there has to be, the presiding deity should be Brahmaji. Okay? Iti karmendriya devata. Remember, when we are saying hands, legs, etc., we are not talking of physical hands. What are we talking of? The abilities. We are not talking of physical hands. Physical hand is called Golaka, not Indriya. Right. Now what are the functions of these karmendriyas? Vacho Vishayah Bhashanam. Organ of speech. What is its function? To speak. Yes. Then Panyor Vishayah Vastu Grahanam. What is the function of hand? To grasp things. Padayor Vishayah Gamanam. Gamanam means movement. locomotion, mobility. That is a function of legs. Then payor vishayah malatyagaha, excretion of waste matter from the body. That is a function of anus. Upasthasya vishayah ananda iti. What is the function of genital organ? Here it is said ananda. Two types of ananda. One is sexual pleasure. The second one is the pleasure of seeing one's own children, progeny. Why is it that people are happy with their children? Why people badly want children? Because deep down there is a feeling that this body will not survive after some time, but I can exist through my children. So desire is there to exist forever and ever and ever. So I desire to exist through my children. That is why we are so much attached to our children. Normally in the obituary column you will find so and so, the person who is dead, is survived by children, isn't it? Survived by means what? He is still surviving through their children. So that gives ananda. So upasthasya vishayah ananda iti. So pancha karmendriyas also over. Pancha jnanendriyas over. Pancha karmendriyas over. Next what? Actually it should be pancha prana, but that topic is not taken. So we will have to discuss that, what that pancha prana is. Pancha jnanendriyani, pancha karmendriyani, pancha prana, manaschaikam, buddhischaika. Pancha jnanendriyani over, pancha karmendriyani over. Now it is pancha prana. That we will see tomorrow. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet, asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari